Late night Cappy here at the Northern Command because it's 110 degrees in the Southern Command. And we have a very light, easy question. If you have very light, easy questions, Cappy's got answers at assholeconsulting.com. Hey, Cappy, just want to start off by saying that I'm a cheap bastard in some regards who never pays for services such as your own and simply watches your videos on YouTube along with many other great producers. My entire life, I've been the guy that everyone else looks to for advice, as I'm seen by my peers and elders alike as a role model of sorts who has his shit together. So I guess you can take it as a compliment of sorts that I'm here with a question for once in my life. I'll try to keep it as brief as possible to spare you for wanting to blow your own brains out. So background on me, I'm a 22-year-old Army veteran. I don't want to identify your unit there. Hardcore combat training, not the pussy shit you see today with the rest of the militaries, other than the Marines. IQ 149, who was medically discharged in 2018 after 2 years of service due to minor knee issues. This was a huge failure in my life, as it was my childhood dream to go into the Berets. At least got to train with them, but we all know how dreams work. Cashed out with a sweet deal of full coverage and disability check every month for life, and returned home to my family with my head held low. Why would you have it held low? You got medically discharged. I don't see. That's if number one, first step of Stoicism is control what you do, or realize what you don't control. Not your fault your knees went out. I've always been supportive and a great family, but I never let them see how my failure affected me. Yeah, you didn't fail. I know it's easier for me to say that, but you didn't fail. You know, there's all these guys that to get, like their dream has been you made it into the military. These guys that dream to get into the military, and then they find out, oh, you got picolacadacalongitis. Well, what's that? Oh, it's this thing that doesn't really affect you in any way, except we can't take you. So they're not even failures either. They tried. Spent the next year or so working a shitty but high paying for my age CNC machine job manufacturing AR-15 parts. Building and shooting firearms is a big hobby of mine while living in my still married parents' nice retirement home on a lake, trying to figure out what the hell I should do with the rest of my life. I'm somewhat still and trying to get over the shame of not only failing my Army career, but also quitting. How did you quit? I thought you got honor. You were medically discharged. I don't think you could go back, can you? Unless it's a different MOS. After a year of isolating myself from the outside world, including social media, other than family, work, in the gym, that's not too bad, actually. Some serious meditation and self-reflection, as well as listening to the advice of great many people such as David Goggins, and reading many religious texts. I'm agnostic, but find truth within metaphors of religion. I finally came to peace with myself for the most part and decided to put that free bachelor's to good use and enrolled in a state college down the road to get an associate's in IT while bumming off my parents a little longer. They're very financially intelligent and recommended it to save more money in the first couple of years of college. Right, oh yeah. But I still do pay them a small rent fee. At the same time, I quit my CNC job to work part-time firearm salesman, where I got to see American stupidity at finest at a local store, focus on more on school. Eventually quit that job after getting shit pay, even as the department manager for the largest moneymaker in the store, and was hired by one of a state's top private security agencies after I got my armed and unarmed security licenses. We don't do the usual commercial contracts, instead working in communities with frequent gang activity where many officers have stories of shootings and some serious shit they have been involved in, which makes it less boring. I swear it's not as cool as it sounds. No, I know. I mean, it's not. Okay, I don't know. I never worked that. Okay, I did work armed security, but it's twiddling your thumbs with your thumb up your ass, and then maybe 2 minutes of excitement too, if quote unquote, if you're lucky. Yeah, 80% of the time you're still doing nothing and have yet to be in a shootout. Yeah, that's work. That's security. That's cop work. I made some mistakes along the way, but currently I am aware I'm still leagues ahead of most others who are my age and many who are 30 years older from what I've seen. I have a decent amount of money saved up from investing, working benefits alongside a Roth IRA. Yeah, plus you got your disability paycheck. You got your Roth IRA, not your Roth IRA, your GI Bill. Don't drink, work out religiously. Yeah, and you sent me the pictures. You do work out religiously, bastard. 5 days a week for 7 years now. I love weightlifting and hate cardio, unlike you. Yeah, we got it switched. I could hike mountains all day. You have a leased car that you should not have leased. It'll be paid off in December, 4 years ahead of schedule, after which I will drive until it kicks the bucket. Have no debts and don't ever plan again on having any again, especially for a car. We'll have my associates in IT in the next 3 months, currently on track for a bachelor's within 3 years, and we'll finally be moving out again in December to attend a state college. Okay, I might even know where you are, as well as get a cybersecurity certification. I've never had issues getting women other than being bad at pickup game. Once I get past first meeting them, I'm golden. Well, yeah, you're jacked. I mean, you'll love, not that you should attend it, but you'll love the seminar I got coming out. It talks about going to the gym. It's all about minimalism. One of the things is like, dude, you can spend 5 hours in a nightclub or just 1 hour at a gym. Okay. And you're going to save yourself 4 hours of time in the process. And absolutely hating parties and clubs, but strangely find enough sex to be boring most of the time and really worth the effort. Don't think it's low testosterone. Don't show any symptoms, especially in terms of muscle mass. Well, yeah, but you also get tired of it. You get tired of it. I'll say it again. What's his name? Ron Jeremy is sick of sex. God, I know a lot of guys who aren't porn stars, and they're kind of like, okay, this is Jack Napier. He did 30 by 30. I said, well, really? How much better was 30 than 29? I was like, no, it's a round number. I'm like, no, it's kind of sad. The guys be like, yeah. I'm the guy who only gets a handful of chicks a year of all races, ethnicities, and all of them are 8 to 9s and 10s. But for the most part, I'm perfectly fine being on my own, as most chicks, both born, annoy the hell out of me. I got another guy that's in your situation. Why are they so dumb? I'm like, you keep dating the 10s, dude. You keep going after strippers and 10s. I don't know why they're so dumb. More than hell, especially ones my age and the hot ones. I see what you mean about staying away from them. I'm not don't not hang out with them occasionally, but God, you're not going to have them there for conversation. Now, friends are another matter. Due to my life experiences, intelligence, and skills, I have an extremely hard time even remotely relating with my peers. I relate better to people twice my age. Yeah, how old are you? Oh, you're up shit creek. If you're that young and you're already ramming into this, you are up shit creek. Where do we go? I have extremely hard time remotely relating to my peers, people twice my age, and find most of the dumbasses I meet in college thinking they're following their dreams with their $50,000 of debt for a liberal arts degree, or worse, no degree at all, from a scam of an institution, to be hilarious and sad at the same time. Because of this and many of my hobbies being solo activities, I only have 3 friends, 2 from the Army. I see one once a year, more frequently when I move, another every month or so, and talk on the phone, play video games with the last one that lives on the other side of the country. My coworkers and supervisors with the agency are all cool as hell, though, as work friends. Don't really hang out outside of work, which is a relief. Luckily, I'm naturally more of a lone wolf type, so it doesn't bother me too much, as I know some people would kill themselves with such few friends, but it does still suck from time to time when I'm bored out of my mind. Did you read this book, The Curse of the High IQ? Not to make me another couple bucks, but to make me another couple bucks. But this one, dude, you gotta, again, it's not a solution. It just explains it. All it does is explain it, which provides sanity, which is all we ever got. Where we go? Well, it does suck them more. All right, that's enough of my sob story. My question essentially is, how do I cope with the extreme boredom of life? Well, if you got an answer to that, you should write a book, and you will make maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars, because most people are idiots and they don't ever get to this point. Most of them are stuck in the lower 2 echelons of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, dealing with kids they couldn't afford and paying back student loans. They don't even get to your level to have these esoteric existential questions. Other than maybe making more friends, money, or traveling the world, as absurd as it sounds, I almost feel like I've already done everything. I've already embraced the fact that life is not about being happy, finding a purpose, or finding some soulmate. I don't even believe in love or human monogamy. I find marriage to be a joke. There's nothing is guaranteed, and no one deserves anything just because. But even when one embraces nihilism without becoming some fat bitchy loser there, faced with the empty reality of endless possibility and endless boredom. Nothing matters, yet everything matters, depending on your own subjective definition. I see the world as a beautiful and brutal thing where chaos is just as important as order, and without one, the other will become unbalanced as seen in our society. The things that 99% of the population run after for their entire lives are frivolous. Yes. Yes. You see this little red dude right there? I don't know if you can see that little red dude right there. You're asking why are all these dudes, the black dudes like over there on that side of the curve? Well, you're the red dude. Came to the harsh realization that most people are essentially slaves, willingly used for labor and reproduction as their sole purpose, which is the cost of high population, causing individuals to become increasingly disposable. Yeah. So what should I even run towards? Is this all there is to life? If so, I understand why people kill themselves, as I would have years ago had I not possessed the discipline to smack the shit out of my emotions, aka man up, and regain control of my actions. Often ponder these questions, feeling like I'm adrift in the sea with no real direction. I understand that is how life really is, with no one actually knowing what they are doing in the grand scheme of things. But on a personal level, I feel like I'm wasting my best years sometimes. When I'm not working, studying, exercising, or occasionally trying something new, I'm hopelessly bored and oftentimes distract myself with video games to escape reality. I guess that's my vice. I spent a period of time without playing any in the past, but I eventually returned as I have nothing to do to fill the time. But the voice in the back of my head continues to nag me that I'm wasting my life like many other people. I've tried many new things over the years to either make more money or simply discover a hobby, but many failed. Regardless, my question still stands: is this all there is to life? Deep down, I'm sure I already know the answers, as we often ironically do. But I want to hear you say them yourself and pay to torture you as well. He gets the military discount, but I still had to charge him a lot. Please put this in a video so others can hear the wise words of Cappy, and let me know how much money you want for this massive headache of a story, of a letter. Sorry, it ended up being a bit long and jumbled, just like my thoughts. Thanks for what you do, Cap. May not have served. Honestly, you didn't miss out on a whole lot. We'll talk about that. But see, I probably, maybe I didn't know. But I sure as hell know you could have run with the best of us. Hell, you're better than most soldiers I met. I light up a cigar for you. Cheers. Thanks, man. That means a lot coming from a real soldier. How do I want to put it? Okay, here's the problem you're facing. And I've said this before, and this is nothing new, and you've probably heard it through my writings, or maybe you've tuned in. I've said it many times before. It's one of my top policies. It's, I think, what was the 10 rules of Cappy? I think it was in. Humans are the number one thing in life. That's about the only thing you're going to derive true long-term value, joy, happiness, intellect, stimulation out of. You could try all your hobbies, but humans are the number one because, again, they're infinite. All right. Video games are really cool to play. And heck, you even play with your buddies. Would you play the solo campaign? Would you even play if you couldn't play with your buddies, or at least rando people online? Point is, humans are the number one thing in life. Where God fucks you, where society has fucked you and all of us, is that, especially in Western civilization, the quality and caliber of people has gone to absolute shit. And I'm not just talking girls, but I'm talking everybody. It has always been the case that most people were just struggling to get by, but without a state, that would mean you relied on family and friends and community. So in that sense, you did have each other. But now that the government has replaced community, fraternity, family, even the husband or father, the patriarch for the raising the family, humans don't need each other financially anymore, or certainly less. You also throw in a tremendous amount of wealth, and I would say an equal amount of debt we've borrowed. And humans have no problems, no cares or concerns or worries in the world. And they've become a bunch of spoiled little brats. They're materialistic. They're all about themselves and their ego, and they're all going to follow their dreams, even if we, go trillions of dollars into debt, like you said, for these idiots to think they're saving the world in college and all that. All focus and purpose is put on their politics or their career. Sometimes it's the same thing, their ideology, their cult-like religion of social justice warriorism or environmentalism or that, and feminism or whatever else you have. And then when it comes to the group of people that would have normally fielded a candidate for you to be your most important human in your life, that would be women, your wife. Feminism has made the vast majority of Western, there's still some out there, but the vast majority of women your age certainly unmarriageable. And I'm not trying to be edgy or funny or cute. I'm just being honest because, gosh almighty, 300 plus girls I dated, less than 1%, only 3 were debatably marriage material. As I get older, I start to look back and I'm like, well, and especially at your age, those young ladies are, and I always kind of try to further refine this statement. Because it's, to be precise about this is so important. Most of them don't hate you. Most of them are programmed not to want you or to put you way behind career and education and themselves and their politics and their identity and their, I mean, you are 4th or 5th place. They're not putting men number 1 in life, obviously not. And that's good where they're just programmed not to want you. Some of them are programmed to compete against you. Some of them are programmed to hate your fucking guts. Okay. So with the quality and caliber of humans out there going to absolute shit, including friends, including colleagues, all these people stuck in debt, all these people paying off their student loans, all these people being completely brainwashed. That's another tragedy. Like there's no one independently thinking anymore. I mean, everyone going to college, yeah, socialism, yeah, everyone's racist. Everyone, man, I slight my wrist because I'm a bad person. You look at the overall population, just going to absolute pot in terms of morals, ethics, intelligence, and that's where it's really hurting you, your intellect. And not to mention any, the group of the population that would have fielded a gal you would have loved with and formed family with, and family and children and your spouse are arguably the number one thing in life of all the humans. As I've said many times before to a lot of younger men, and including men of my generation, you were just born in the wrong time. This is not this not the wrong time. It's the time. You got a medical history. You had bad knees. It's not your fault. You had bad knees. You weren't a failure. Your misery is not your fault. Your observations are correct. There's nothing wrong with you. What you're observing is 100% true and correct. The quality and caliber of people, including women, are absolute shit. This doesn't mean they're bad people. Doesn't mean they're evil people, though sometimes it does mean that. But you, again, and then we don't have to talk about IQ, although IQ is certainly one of these variables. You're absolutely jacked and ripped. You're absolutely a philosopher. You're just thinking these things through. You have your financial act together. You hold yourself to a very high standard. So you're probably also well off to the Bell distribution curve on morals or principles or ethics. And then when it comes to work ethic, you're way off to the curve. You are on multiple Bell distribution curves, way off to the right of the mean. And you just further ostracize yourself and ostracize yourself and ostracize yourself from the rest of the normal population. Now, this doesn't mean you purposely do that or you're wrong or bad. It's just that I think, kind of like me and a lot of people here that are within this community, you realize you're going to die. You don't want to fuck around with life no more. You want to make it count. And so what do? You pursue excellence. By you pursuing excellence, whether it's an intellectual endeavor, a career endeavor, a financial endeavor, a physical endeavor, you are going to be a lonely person, especially in Western civilization, where most people are fat, obese, dumb, hypocritical, lazy, parasitic, no good fucks. And I include a lot of Republicans and conservatives and libertarians, not just leftists in that. And so now you're here. And the funny joke, humans are the most important thing, but look at the world's shittiest group. I mean, we're talking like the debauched, worthless, bred in circus parasites of Rome, just living off of slaves and gorging themselves, throwing up parties, having orgies. And the orgies would probably be the best thing about that whole thing. I'm like, oh, why can't Plato, even though Plato was Greek, why can't Socrates and Plato find some cool guys and intellectuals in Rome? Well, they're too busy vomiting in the streets. It's not your time. Now, I have no solution for you. I don't, because there's no solution. You don't control this. I don't control this. But you do need to realize that even though it's not what you want, what is on the table is sanity. And I'm going to publish it later, the post around called Sanity is the Future of Wealth. It's realizing just how debauched and worthless and pathetic and sad and parasitic and loserish population has become. And insane on top of it as well. that for anybody like you who wants to make your life count, not only are you going to be lonely, you're going to piss them off. They're going to hate you too. And you can howl at the moon all you want to get these people to go on a diet, stop majoring in stupid shit, put your love for your fellow man, male or female, friends. I would put that first, spending time with each other, stop drinking, stop playing the video. You can argue, and they're not going to listen. They're probably going to hate you for it. And you'll drive yourself insane trying to get them to live their life for the better, to go and make their life count. Now, as miserable as you are, keep in mind, at least you'll have sanity. You'll know why you're miserable. These people, maybe they're stupid happy, like they're happy because they were drinking, or they're happy because society says they should be. Oh, you graduate with a master's. I are so intelligent. But in the end, they all are miserable and insane. I don't know how many times we got to go over the now classical American spinster who posts on her dating profile, 43 years old and would like kids someday. All these gals talking about how they have a master's degree and this, and the guy's like, we don't care. You're fat, lose weight. Big is beautiful. How many blue pill soy boys out there like, I'll just do whatever she says. A happy wife, happy life. I mean, you may say, wow, I wish I could have a social life like that way, but with what? Those people? Then you'd have to be like those people. And I guarantee you, those people are miserable. Watch the video we just did before that. That guy was blue pilled, right? And he did everything he was supposed. He fit, he conformed, and he got fucked. And so I can't say, is this all there is to life? Yeah, but there was supposed to be more. In case you were wondering, I invited you to this big bang. Oh yeah, come on in, Army guys, eat for free all the food. And you get there, there's like 2 pieces of pizza. Like, this is it. Yeah, there was supposed to be more, but this is all we got. And you could get angry about it, get frustrated, but no, your eyes aren't deceiving you. There's only 2 really piece of pizza left on the banquet. Like, yeah, this is all they delivered. I'm sorry. And it's like, well, this is it. At least the food wasn't delivered. And acknowledging the food wasn't delivered, and there ain't going to be no more food, or not have any high expectations for food being delivered, it's going to prevent you from wasting what you do have, and that is time. And now, as you somewhat eloquently painted, is you got this paradox where there's nothing to do because there's no humans to invest in because they're all pieces of shit. So what do? You got nothing else to do except, in your case, 50 years, at least half a century on this planet to make it count otherwise. And that's about the only thing I've been able to find out. Because, man, I have tried to find friends, and I have tried to find people, and I have tried, to find the girls and all that. And what people I have found, I'm very thankful that I have them because they're very precious. But even then, people got to work. People are stuck in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. They're down there. You played your cards right. You didn't fuck up. I didn't get to your point in life until I was about 40. Until about 5 years ago was at this point in life. Well, maybe 38, 39. But not really until like, oh yeah, my finances are secure. I got everything settled here. Now I can go on and event. And that's about the time I went on this big, massive, I go travel around and go visit people because, like the United States military, you got to bring the war to them. You have to bring your friendship to them. And since you have your what is it, a disability check, you got your GI Bill, you got your finances together, you don't have a lot of things or obligations, you're going to have to go visit your buddies, all 2 or 3 of them, and you're going to have to find more buddies. Now, how you do that, I got an idea or two. But don't have high expectations. We're talking a country of 320 million people. There's that few shitty people. I got another gal, Calamity Jane, Black Calamity Jane. She set her whole dating profile to the United States and had some very key requirements of the guy she would meet if she would date. She was looking for marriage. She wasn't effing around. She's libertarian. She loves her guns. Cool gal. The United States, 160 million men. Of course, some are kids and old, but within the dating, millions of men, 4 met that criteria. So sure, leave a line out there. Sure. Maybe you'll meet a nice girl someday. Sure. Maybe train your eyes to find a gal that isn't a 9 or a 10. Gals, I mean, it's just going to be hard, man. That's going to be hard. Looks absolutely ruin women. Absolutely, it's the hot crazy matrix, but on a more fundamental level than that. Society, it's not okay. Sorry, looks don't spoil beautiful women. Society spoils beautiful women. It prevents them from maturing and growing up because guys will bail out whatever girl and they never learn from their mistakes. They're always bailed out. You could even argue they don't consciously treat people like shit. That's just what they're used to. And they're not reliable. They're all going to be crazy. And dude, the way you look, you better look out for getting sperm checked because you're Mr. 10. And I happen to a buddy of mine. He's a 10 too. That's what happened to him. He got sperm checked. So you better play it real safe and real careful. But kind of answer, is that all there is to life? Yes, that's it. That's all there was supposed to be like. You were supposed to have kids. You were supposed to have a loving wife. All right. That's been destroyed by society, capitalism in one sense, making everyone so spoiled, socialism, paying things for everybody, debt spending. No one really supports, no one suffers. Everyone's a pretty girl. Everyone's a pretty girl. Now you never suffer from your mistakes. You never grow as a human being. And that includes your friends too. So it's just shit, man. It's just utter shit. And not to mention, you throw in the unfortunate curveball with your IQ. Yeah, good luck finding some intellect. You're what would you 150? 149. Jesus Christ, man. I think there's less than 1%. I'd have to do the math. 1 in 100 might be smart enough to hang out with you. So, a couple of things you can do aside from acknowledging, not only is this all there is to life, but what you were supposed to get in life isn't going to really happen, or it's been really whittled down and watered down. A couple of things you can do. Like I said, bring your friendship to them, bring the war to them. Keep on doing your hobbies and your careers. It keeps you somewhat sane and gives your brain this false stimulation to it. Working out is also another thing to do. I'd strongly recommend at your age, you travel a lot. I know you don't think that, but that's got at least for me, it had 10 years of agency, 10 years of novelty in it. Like, oh, go try this, go try that. I'd recommend you. I know you hate cardio, but maybe look into climbing a mountain. Not a super big one. Start with start with the Smokies. That's not too bad. Not too high, or the Ozarks, Black Hills. I wouldn't be doing 14ers in Colorado anytime soon, but you should be able to do some hiking. Appalachia Trail's not too far from the state you're in. Maybe take a look at that. just keep on going and keep on doing. But you are going to need to find out some kind of career or profession. So in addition to dragging the war or friendship out to your friends, you're going to have to find a profession and not this low grade shit. Not this low grade shit where you're a salesman or whatever else. You got the GI Bill. I'd be going, I know you went IT, maybe IT is the way to go, but I'd be putting your all into that. Try to become the highest end you can and then go work with a group of nerds. So that's one thing, your career. You're going to find at least some guys there, maybe some gals too, but you'll belong to another team. So there's that. Keep your hobbies going, traveling, adventuring. That's one thing. I think you should be able to pull there. There's another one. Where do I got that? Reconnaissance, man. Get that book and read through that. If you're studying IT, you should be able to do that online. And you don't have to be there. You could be traveling around. Now you got a fancy car to do it. Your car at least will break down. So there's that. Yeah, you got a relatively new car. Don't drink. You got all that. Yeah, you could be studying while you're driving across the country, like the A-Team, which is before your time. I just want to see if hobbies. Keep doing your hobbies. But what I would say, because at least this is on the menu, I think you should become a cop. I know most people, especially today, you don't want to become a cop. But if you find the right department or something, look, you're ex-military, you're in great shape. I got a guy not too far away from you. I'm going to put you in contact with him. And the reason I'm recommending you become a cop, at least part-time or something, is because at least you're going to have camaraderie and brotherhood there. Very kind words you said about me being in the military. I would have done fine. And I probably would have now in hindsight, of course. But I had no idea. And I was your age when I left because I graduated. I had no idea how much I'd miss guys at security. And we were security. We weren't even armed. We were just like with radios reporting stuff to the cops. But we still went in. There was still a group of guys and some gals. We were part of a team. We went out, we did good. And that was like the family. That gave us purpose and that at least you'll belong to a team that way. And I know the military may have medically discharged you, but I'm sure the cops could probably use a guy like you. Actually, yeah, I know another guy who he had bum knees, paratrooper, and became a cop. So if you want, I could put you in charge with or in contact with another guy who's equally jacked as you, has some of probably the same things, a little bit older than you, might be able to give you a little bit of advice in the same state as you. But that's honestly what that's going to be better for your mental health. It'll give you something to do. And so maybe work the night shift or, weekend shifts, maybe reserve police, something, join that fucking team. So at least you have that. At least you have that camaraderie. Because I can't go back and work security because you got to be a college student. I'm never going back to college. Plus, I'm a little too old. I still work security, but it's one-off late night shifts. We hadn't done any teamwork in about a decade. But that's a different story. God, and that was cool too. We had a bunch of guys on that one. But yeah, man, that's why I missed the most. Even working with even in a bank, at least, there's a couple cool people around. You had a place to go. I wouldn't be working at your CNC mill or getting paid nothing to be the biggest salesman and they don't pay you. You need, so go be a cop for the social aspects. But when it comes to IT, you may even want to think about getting your PhD in physics or I don't know if there's a PhD. Oh, there's a PhD in computer science. There is. But that's going to give you another group of people to go and not only enjoy intellectually, but sick that brain on and find some intellectual equals. Cops, you'll probably find some pretty cool dudes in the police department. I don't know if they're going to be IQ geniuses like you, but you're going to find some brotherhood there, which is what I think you need, because at least that's on the table. But with that IQ, yes, go get your degree in IT. Yes, go work in IT. But one of the few people that I'd even say, okay, why don't you go become a doctor or a PhD in computer science? Because that's about the only place you're going to find your people. I remember dated a ton of Asian gals. And the reason I dated a ton of Asian gals, things went pretty well. They just wouldn't have sex. They're very shy. Is I worked in the electrical engineering computer science building, and obviously disproportionately populated by Asian students. So I was the security guard. A lot of girls walked by that were Asian, and I thought, oh yeah, like, well, yeah, of course I got along with them. They're like freaking smarter than me. It was great. Then I tried and date girls at the Carlson School. Like ABHR. So none of this is exact. I know it's become a cop, go travel, bring the war to your friends. Also get your degree in IT. It's going to be a lot of work, and maybe that'll keep you busy. But once you get a professional career in IT going on, hopefully remote location employed, and then maybe you're working reserve police, or maybe you just work weekend shift or something like that. Maybe you're going to have two jobs, because look, you got the time for it. Full-time job going to school, then you go get a job in IT. Part-time job for a little bit of extra scratch, I say you go join the cops. Even if it's not paid and it's a volunteer or reserve police force, because that's going to be good for your mentality. And that's about all I can really think that there is in life right now, given our modern day times where the population decided to get the surgery on their back. Do you know about the surgery on the back? Like, if you're really stupid, a lot of people know this. You get a surgery on your back and it kind of lengthens your back so you can turn your ass to face it and you can shit in your own face. That's about how intelligent the average American is right now, and the quality and caliber of women you get to date. So give up on that. Go to these areas I think are pretty well known, like cops for camaraderie, a hardcore STEM program, computer science maybe, or PhD after you get your job. And to realize, like, oh, yeah, this is about it. This is about it. I'd recommend different things that you could change tactics for dating. If you want, I could go ahead and try to set you up with some girls I know, but they've proven to be kind of a pain in the ass. There's only one I'd really set you up with. And she's traditional. But every time I've done that, there's always been something wrong. Where I'm just like, and that's really gets depressing. And stuff. I was like, but you were the chosen one. I'm like looking at these girls. I'm like, how'd you fuck that up? So there you go. Yeah, and you sent these pictures, and yeah, is that your buddy that you're fishing with there? Is that your friend? It looks like he's military too. Yeah, man, I wish I had something like, oh yeah, here's the secret door to happiness in life. Oh, it really is all about this. No, the purpose of life is to find some really great people to love and spend time with, and by love I mean brotherly love, familially love, romantically love, sexually love. People. Quality, they're just not there. It's like a Venezuelan shopping grocery store. It's just all the shelves have been picked out. Well, shit, none of the good produce was really produced anyway this generation. So manage your expectations. Get it in line with what's likely to exist out there. I'd still date, and you're gonna have to really screen, man, because you're a real good looking dude, and those gals are gonna, they are gonna you are one of the highest risk people I know to be sperm jacked, to be honest. I know it sounds cynical, but it's true. Do what you can, participate in activities and groups you can. Maybe you consider one of the fraternal orders, the Masons or the Eagles. There's others, International Order of Odd Fellows. Some you could consider. I still think you're perfectly suited to be a cop. And then academia. I'd really recommend people go to academia, but you got the IQ if you go into a high-end STEM program, a PhD after you get your bachelor's. And then, man, pick up ballroom dancing. You got a great community for some salsa dancing down there. Have no expectations, though. Yeah, man, and just embrace the suck. You're not, I won't lie, man. Like, you're facing this thing. Oh, I got 50 years. Maybe watch my video before you commit suicide. Because as far as I can tell, it's like, yeah, man, every day, especially stuck in Minnesota, I'm like, fuck, another day of this shit. But now I have something to look forward to. I'm moving. I'm getting out of here. I have a grandiose, larger purpose. But yeah, man, I could see it where it's like, if every day was going to be this, like, and now you get to change your environment. You get to change. You get to try different things. But yeah, you're not wrong. Without other people, and there really is no real point and purpose to life. So it's kind of like, I don't know if you've seen these post-apocalyptic movies where, you think, oh, if nuclear war happened, I survive. I just go drive Ferraris around. You drive Ferraris around for 3 days, you'd be bored out of your fucking mind. And then you probably put a bullet in your head. It doesn't matter how many activities or Ferraris or hobbies. If you're this freakishly to the right of the bell curve on several different items, you might as well be alone, because everyone else around you is a fucking robot. Right? And not necessarily because you're freakishly high in intelligence and independent thought and ethics. It's also because people are fucking robots now. They're fucking dumb. And just this, I mean, I was at a bar today enjoying a cigar outside, and they blasted this music. Everyone was like, whoa! And I'm like, oh, that's right. You all think that's fun. You think loud noise. Wow, a cover band playing songs we've heard a million times before, instead of having conversation and being witty and funny with one another. You like getting your ears blasted out and go, woo! People, I forgot where I was going with that one. IQ, they're not capable. Yeah, they're just not going to be able to deliver. They're just not going to be able to deliver what you want. So, that's what I was saying. So when you look forward in life like that, you're like, is this my team? Yeah, okay, I could see where you'd maybe want to contemplate suicide, but here's the counter argument why you shouldn't. You got nothing else to do, because at the end of this, it's nothing, unless you believe in God and Jesus, in which case you can't commit suicide. But if you're agnostic or atheist, you have to admit the very real possibility that at the end of it, you cease to exist completely. And if that's the case, you might as well stick around. And there's two sayings I have that follow up with that. You enjoy the decline and you enjoy the show, because this is the only show showing. Right? You may not like the show. You may not like It's a Tragedy, but this is it's like being in a small town. What are they playing at the theater? The one screen theater. They're playing that one movie. I guess we'll go. And that's it. You were born here. This is the movie running your generation of life. It's the really sucky movie where humans turn into NPC robots and all bow down at Marxism and feminism and environmentalism, thinking they're so intelligent and smart while they claim to live off of other people's money and they think that's heroic. And then they all get fat and fucking mar their bodies with tattoos and dinner plates in their ears and eyebrow piercings and dye their hair blue. Wow, what a fucking I guess you could. It's something to watch. It's something to watch. Besides which, you haven't done any reconnaissance. You haven't done any adventure. Go adventure. Go travel around. Learn to ride motorcycles. That I can tell you will help. But have no expectations. You've accurately assessed this. So now do what you can to maybe find some good people. Maybe once meetups start opening up, take on some hobby. Oh, I'd recommend you maybe go to a cigar lounge. If you get along with older gentlemen, go to a cigar lounge. Go to one that's not loud. Go to one that's more like a club, like a treehouse club, and a bunch of old dudes. And don't try too hard to join them. But after like a month of going there, you'll establish a rapport. You can give each other guff, and that's what I do. And that's what I found to be most happy and rewarding in life is like I found my cigar lounges. I found my the one bar I go to smoke cigars. I got my friends I go visit, but I got to fly to visit them. And that's about it, because that's all there really is there. I've kicked around going back for a doctorate in economics, but it's like, why the fuck would I do that? I already make more than most economists graduates. Maybe not doctorates, but it's like I make more than economists. Get the fuck out of here. Because economics majors with a graduate, they don't make that much money. They sling coffee too. You need a master's. What the fuck did you teach me in 4 years? All right, now I'm rambling. That's it, dude. That's all there is to life. Looks like you got some hobbies, fishing with your buddy there. I'd go fishing, smoking. Enjoy what's sample everything on the menu. Okay. Sample everything that's on this menu. Don't kill yourself. You want to know what life is about? Well, your main dish that you wanted isn't there. You went to this burger place, but boy, they got steak fries, they got wings, they got enchiladas, they got quesadillas, they got ice cream. You try everything on the menu before you go, because it's the only time you're going to be at this restaurant. Maybe a cute girl will pony up. Maybe they'll get the dish in that you want. Maybe some friends will show up. But you have to, absolutely have to, and this is the hardest thing to do, is not let this bother you as much, because it's going to be a miserable 50 years. So kind of like accept this, like this is it, and stop getting angry about it. And not that you're enraged but try not to be depressed about it. Just accept it for what it is. And then go and make it count. No matter what it is that you do, go and make it count. And try to keep yourself as intellectually stimulated as possible. Find your band of brothers. And I'll see what I can do. I got one gal might be able to go out with you. But that's it. Let's see if we got any super chats. Holy cow, we got a lot of super chats. Alex Saluski, our Polish agent in the field, $5. So glad I went to work in the trades after high school instead of going into debt and going to college and graduating into a recession. Yep. What's it like being a young man and having no debt, Alex? Do your friends even know what that is like? Brian Cameron, $5. I think Brian's new. If you would have started your financial responsibility at 20, what age would you have been financially stable instead of 39 minus the military? If I had started I was financially responsible. I graduated with no debt. But if I were to do things all over, very much like Sean, was it? Alex. Knowing what I know now, and I could not join the military, I would have been a carpenter or a tradesman. Would have built my own house. I would have been financially stable probably around 30. And, how do you define financially stable? I probably would have had my house paid off by 30 instead of 42. And I wouldn't have had to have a fucking tenants living in a basement if I were to do things over again. Sans the military. Miguel Angel Casillas for $5 needs to hold his head up high and stand tall. The guts to charge towards the difficult and unfortunately got hurt. I assure you his nephews will and do admire him. Yeah, but it doesn't, this doesn't change the problem he faces. This guy isn't interested in what do people think of me. He's like, I want something to do. His brain needs to, you guys ever watch the Sherlock Holmes movie? Or not the movie, the one with Benedict Cumberbatch, where he's just like borderline psychotic, where he's like, no, I need this. Why don't you people get it? It's like it's just this all-consuming monster. It's like, no, let's go. Me, I'm speed. Some people need intelligence or can just pour through books. I pour through podcasts. I need stimulation where I'll just get up and walk away. Alexander the Great, Peter the Great. He was read about Peter the Great. He couldn't tolerate all the pomp and circumstance bullshit of being a czar. He just would walk away and teach himself how to fire guns, cannon back in the day. He's an interesting fellow. It's not that people will admire. His brain needs food. It needs to survive. It needs something. And it's a fucking desert out there. It's the 2 pieces of crappy pizza. It's not enough. Miguel Angel Casillas for another $5 generous. Children tend to still hold true to what they respect, along with his parents and family. Search for like-minded comrades to share trials and success. He may want to consider the American Legion even. Like, buddy, you could do the American Legion, right? You're qualified to join. Or VFW. Were you in a foreign war? Do they require you join? You have to fight in a foreign war? That might be something to consider. Hey, Fernando Covet, our Portuguese, well, not Portuguese, Brazilian agent in the field who speaks Portuguese. My baby's name is Maximilian. Well, of course, see, you, Fernando, you have good tastes. Felix and Maximilian. Dan Lennon for $2. Aaron, you would have been a standout E6. Oh, God, you had to pull. What's an E6? God damn it. I did a video a bit back that said, what was it? Dre want to know if I would join a branch, which one would it be? What would I do or something? Like, I do this. And I didn't know I know what ranks are, but then everyone, I made E5. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Is that a sergeant? Is that a lieutenant? What is that? Okay, you're a lieutenant. All right. I understand that. What's an E6? Or are you just pulling my leg? E6 military rank. Staff sergeant. Okay, would have made a good staff sergeant. Non-commissioned officer. Okay. Is that all we got? DJ Aftershock for $2. Go watch Sports Ball with Chip and Thaddeus the Fourth. Dude, could you imagine this? I can only imagine him going to a party. I could only imagine, especially at his age, 22, going to one of these dude bro parties. Oh, he must be bored out of his fucking mind. I shouldn't laugh because it sucks. Vinny Rondo, $2. Who are your favorite bands and music artists? Rammstein, KMFDM. Revolting Cox is probably my favorite band. Ministry, who shared some of the same band members. Then all the jazz greats, Miles Davis, Artie Shaw, Duke Ellington. Who else? Les Brown in the Band of Renown. I liked him a lot. Necessary jazz, but happy fun. Mellow Man 0001, $5 Canadian. Do you get lonely while traveling through the country? If so, how do you do? Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I just download a ton of podcasts. The good thing about me when I travel through the country is I know someone in every town, not every town, but every major town. I'm usually on my way to visit people. But when I get really lonely, it's usually I'm hiking or the people like, yeah, watch over my house. I'll be back in a week. I house sit for them. And then I'll just like go and hike around. Vegas, I'll get lonely because I'll try and go to I try to go to D&D meetups. And then all it is a bunch of people that have ADHD or Asperger's or autism and they can't play. You guys probably remember the story I told about the 27-year-old guy who was about to cry because he wouldn't cast his spell. And then when you're like trying to meet people, you try and go out, you're like, wow, there are that many stupid people. Meetup groups where you're like, oh yeah, 20 people are going to show up for a run. 2 people show up and they're kind of weird. And after a while, you're like, yeah, I can see where booze or video games, like you really lose the incentive to even leave the house, but you gotta. So what I end up doing, just a ton of podcasts. And I go on big ass long hikes. If I'm out west, I'm okay because I go on these big ass long hikes. Occasionally I'll see Baldoni and some other people I know. I got my cigar lounge out there too. But yeah, if you're traveling new areas, you're lonely, of course. Absolutely. But at least you go out. At least you've seen it, Probably the loneliest trip I took was to Alaska. I didn't know anyone on that trip. And then what? I was 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Didn't get to see anyone until I got into Spokane that I knew. But it's something to look at. Oh, look, a glacier. I've never seen a glacier. Fernando Covet, $2. I speak about 5 languages, 3 fluently. Oh, good. I'm going to guess Portuguese, Spanish, and English. Those would be the main ones. That's it. Okay. Tomorrow, more asshole consulting. Questions, answers, asshole consulting. If you are suffering from similar things like this guy, get this book, Curse of the High IQ. That's one. And then I'm trying to think philosophically what would be a good one. These are more practical. This would help. If you're a younger man or younger woman and you're sick of your generation, get this one. You young kids got to realize just how brainwashed you were and how fucked up your generation was and how you had no shot. You stood no shot. The data here alone, where is it? Chapter. There's a 73-page chapter where I go through all the data measuring just how fucked up the millennials are. And Gen Z is promising to be worse. That'll give you context to say, no, you're not insane. You're the sane one. Society is insane. All right, that's it. See you guys later. Toodles. Oh, wait, hang on. Dan Lennon, 5. Staff Sergeant, squad leader of the Army. I got it as an E5 sergeant. We say E5 because there are many different types of sergeant. Oh, okay. So each E has an association with a rank or type of sergeant. All right. Okay, we'll see you kids later. Toodles.